Hey guys, welcome to Coaching with Chris. I feel a little bit underdressed. I promise. I promise. It looks more professional than it really is, but welcome to Coaching with Chris. Look, if you like Coaching with Chris, if you like a favorite episode, please like, share, comment. That would really be a big, huge favor, and I would be honored if you would do so. By the way, majority of our listeners listen to either on Spotify or Apple, and they would prefer to listen. I would like them to engage and be able to be live on Facebook, which we have. But if you can't do it and you got to listen, make sure you tune in, check in, because this is another episode that you aren't going to want to miss. Now, it is one of my faves, one of my favorite events. We're going to talk about it, and a really cool company with a great story. Basically, how they started. I remember meeting them at one of their first Christmas parties to what it is today. It is just remarkable of what these guys have done. But I think they've also built one of the most creative, one of the favorite of mine to be able to speak. Like, I got to kind of fight to be able to even speak at this thing. It's so cool. We're going to talk about MortgageCon. John, how are you? Welcome to Coaching with Chris.
Glad to be here. Thank you, Chris.
So, guys, everybody wants to know the story, right? I mean, there's loan originators across the country. They're just trying to decide whether you're in retail. I got a lot of retail audiences that listen to Coaching with Chris. And if you don't know about Empire, you're going to know about them by the end of this call. And you're also going to know about MortgageCon and why you should go. And it's coming up, and you still got some time to go. I think you still got some tickets left, but we'll talk about that definitely at the end. But who wants to start? Like, this amazing company that you built, how did it come about?
I'll start, Joe. A lot of mistakes. First of all, Chris,
Yeah.
mortgage is mostly all I've ever known, and through the banking world and retail world and banker everything, I learned a lot of things I loved, a lot of things I didn't love, and ultimately, we just wanted to create a home for the modern originator that could kind of create their own dream career. So that was the focus, and then we kind of went about it in a few unique ways.
I would say that, when you think about Empire, this might be a tough question, but I think it's easy for you guys. But like, you've worked in retail, you were I mean, you've done a lot of the different facets. Why is your model the best?
I like to think that the entrepreneurial LO is really the best LO out there in my mind. And I feel that we built our company for the entrepreneurial spirit, where
Hmm.
we built, in my opinion, a very fast car, and we hand over the keys and let them drive. We want them to build whatever company they want to within a company, and we're going to help give them the tools and resources to succeed, keep them compliant, and like I said, let them build their dream model, their dream lifestyle of a career.
Yep. Yep. So now, fast forward all the way to today, how many loan officers and what does the company look like today? And what are you the most excited about in 2026?
So we sit, I want to say, upwards of 200. We should close. We're still having some final numbers trickle in, but just short of $1 billion, and I think that will be close to double next year. What I'm most excited for is we have some really great people coming over, probably some familiar faces you'll see, Chris. And the technology that we're rolling out is, I'll put it up there against anybody's. We're building it homemade, and it's unique. It's a bunch of great collaborative minds coming together to make a nice, easy to use, efficient product. And I think between the people and the tech that we're rolling out, culture and technology wins all the time.
Yeah, it does. I've seen a glimpse of maybe some things. Maybe it's changed since I've seen some stuff, but it was really, really cool. And being an originator at heart and being in the weeds on that side, I think it's an amazing, unique tool that you guys have that you've built, and that is an advantage over maybe somebody else. I was talking to a group of originators that had went from the broker world, okay, from the broker world to retail, and now absolutely hates retail and wants back to the broker model. And I'm like, but why did you switch in the first place? And they came up with this reason of support, process, and ease. And I I want to say that when you think of your guys' company, how do you overcome those three categories that a lot of people say this is why I want to go to retail, but
Mhm.
then I'm I'm like now I'm hearing it, well, I want to go back because it wasn't what I thought it was, and I feel like you fit that little spot right there. How do you overcome those buckets?
Yeah, and not to hog the mic, Joe, but I think that typically when people are having strain or pain at a company, it comes down to they're unsatisfied with the level of support or the control over their own business. Maybe it's the pricing and compensation or the technology. So those, and if you add in culture, those were the five aspects we tried to focus on: was adequate support in the broker world, full control over your business as long as you remained compliant. We wanted to break down the myth that the broker world didn't provide great technology, and we wanted to compensate them better than anyone else in the industry. So I think that's the best parts of mortgage. And if we solve those problems, it's hard for people to find a better way to, or a better reason to go back to retail.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe, what about you? What are you
I think,
thinking when you're hearing all this stuff?
yeah, and I think that because why John has a very long career in mortgage. I do not. I came from the hospitality side of things, right? So 15 years at Walt Disney World, different world, different types of experiences. But when he brought me on in order to help out, I kind of wanted to bring the service levels of what we were doing over there to this company, not only from a client perspective, but from the LOs that we serve too at the same time. So when we run our operations and when we do things, we give the world's best service to our loan officers in order to make sure that they're happy, they're supported, that they're getting everything that they need, and they feel valued every day that they're working. So, that's kind of the piece that I brought to the puzzle. I learned the mortgage world very early on. He threw me on as one of his loan processors, and I have horror stories from that world. So I'm very glad to
Do you
very
wake
glad.
up in the middle of the night and think, "Oh shit, you're
Yeah,
processing loans," or what?
yeah, there will be times when I'm doing something for John and I'll say, this is processor PTSD right now, completely. So, but overall, we built the tools organically from the ground up in order to support our business, right? So we figured out the problems, we asked the people what the problems were, and then we invested a lot of time, money, and effort in order to create the tools available to all of our LOs in order to get the support, in order to make sure that their problems are handled. And we do it in an efficient way, which I think is a huge asset to what our success has looked like over the past 4 years.
Hmm, hmm. Well, I think one of the things that we mentioned in the beginning, but want to spend the majority of the time on is MortgageCon, and to really be able to understand how special MortgageCon is. I would love for both of you to talk about like how'd you start MortgageCon? So how and why did you start MortgageCon?
Well, it took place about 3 years ago. John came home from a trip somewhere. I don't know where he was. Met with some of the LOs, and John has a lot of great ideas. And he came home from the trip and he said, "Hey, I want to do a mortgage conference." And I said, "Okay." Like being within hospitality and being a little bit in the events world, I knew how much work it takes in order to do something like that. So, are you sure you want to do that? He's like, "Yes, it's going to be so different. It's going to be this." And I'm like, "All right, well, let's figure this out and let's figure out how it can be different." Because as we've been to some of the other shows, we didn't want to be better. We wanted to be different, and we wanted to bring some of the culture that we were trying to embrace within our company to other people, right? But we also wanted to do it for charity too. We didn't want it to be self-serving or anything. This was our way of giving back. So that was the mindset. The initial idea, and I think you remember this, Chris, is we were going to do MortgageCon on a cruise ship,
Yeah,
right? So we were
I'm still waiting for that, Joe.
we're working on it. We're working on it. So we were going to basically create this little microcosm on a cruise ship, put loan officers there, do seminars all day, workshops, and everybody. It would be kind of like a captive audience, right? Lo and behold, though, my John's son was going to be due the exact day that we were going to be on the cruise ship, and luckily we hadn't signed the contract, so we had to pivot. Um, when we were putting that first year together, we had 5 months to put it together because
Wow.
of, the pivot that we needed to do. So we thought, what could we do that would be easy? Create that microcosm, create that environment that gives loud, fast, quick bits of information, make it fun, make it enjoyable, put it somewhere that is never really been done before. So we are in Orlando, Florida, and we started looking at the theme parks because,
Mm.
having come from Walt Disney World, I had seen a lot of really cool events that they had done there before. And I thought, listen, LOs are going to love stuff like this. I don't think LOs have ever seen something like this, right? So reached out to Universal, um, planned it in 5 months, and in about 2 weeks before the event was supposed to go live, I walked into John's office, and it was a small event, probably only about 100 to 120 attendees that first
Hmm.
year. Bare bones budget, but I walked in his office and I said, John, we're never doing this again. Never, ever in a million years. This is a lot of work. This was so much, a lot of time and effort. And I don't even know if it's going to work at this point. I think it works on paper. You know what I'm saying? Everything looks good. And he said, okay, let's talk about it after the fact. Right. So we finished that last day on that first year. In that first year, we had uh, part of the seminar was over at Soundstage 20. I mean, Soundstage 33. The other one was over at Hard Rock Live. Um, Finished it. We're in the theme park, and John sends out this massive text to the company and says, this was such a wonderful success. We had heard so many great things and feedback that there's no way that we can't do it next year. And I said, well, there's my answer. And literally that weekend, we started planning year two. And kind of the rest is history. And as we started planning year two, I thought to myself, okay, year number one was our proof of concept. Like, we can do this. We can do this differently. We can take a seminar, put it in a soundstage where TV shows, videos were filmed, and we can make it immersive. We could do our networking events inside a theme park. We can move people around with ease and stuff like that. So it was proof of concept, right?
Hmm.
Second year, which was early, and now we're in 2026. So February of 2025, like, all right, let's plus it up. Let's
Yeah.
do something really impressive in order to get the word out and in order to make sure that people understand that this is truly a different type of experience.
Yeah.
So second year we themed it, right? We put it in the middle of an Aztec jungle. We made the entire soundstage look like you were in front of a temple. We did a storyline where there was a woman named Cindy Anna Loans. She was looking for the token of prosperity. Roberto, our chief creative officer, he did all these AI videos to progress the story, and it introduced everybody differently. And everybody only really got about half an hour in order to speak. So it was that quick, loud, fast bits of information.
Yeah.
And that's, last year was pretty darn magical, right? I was
Yep.
very pleased with how everything came together. I was like, wow, like this is definitely a plus up plus from the year before. And so as we were planning year three, in my mind, the 3 year plan was year three is going to be the realization of what MortgageCon was always meant to be.
Yeah.
So, February 1st through the 4th, for those who are attending, they're going to see something really darn special. And it's going to be pretty cool. The thing that I will say is when we did that first year with our salesperson from Universal, and we're looking at price points or whatever, and we literally asked her on the tour, hey, what is the coolest event that you guys do here? Like, what is the bucket list? And she said, Harry Potter, the Harry Potter
Yeah.
lands, all that good stuff. And so in my mind, that was the goal. And here we are, year three, and it's happening. So um, I know that's me hugging the mic, John, but what does MortgageCon means to you, John, for the most part?
You covered a lot of it. I'd say a new modern way to have a convention and learn and adapt to the modern originator, which is ADD and fidgety and needs kind of like micro sessions of information, and to raise money for kids. I mean, that's been our mission since the
Yeah.
first one. So my hope next year is to make it bigger, Chris. I want to see if I can get some of our other broker owners involved and make this like a broker led event where, the purpose is for charity and to bring awareness and see what we can do.
Yeah. Yeah. You got some great speakers this year that I mean, let's talk about some of them that, you've worked hard of putting this whole thing together. It's 2 days jam packed. It's a cool party right into Harry Potter. Like this is just more than going into a big conference room. I wish I could explain it to everyone of the the stage, the theme, the video, the intro, the feeling, the sound system, uh, the amazing people that are in the room. Like just getting into the room is to me is a cool special part. But let's talk about some speakers and some of the things that you're excited about for 2026.
Yeah, I love the speaker list we have, and I always draw a blanket when we have, but we focused on trying to bring people that were recommended by previous members. So I know Renee Rodriguez is there. I always love hearing him. We
Hmm.
brought in Neil Dingra. We're doing a unique thing called duels. So panels are. I've always had a tough problem with panels, Chris. It's just
I hate
it's
them.
it's I freaking hate it, and it's slow, and I don't feel like people always have well thought out answers, or they ask for the questions in advance. I wanted people to basically get like 12 minutes, 3 slides, give me the best piece of information on a topic that you can, and have the audience vote on like a quote unquote winner. And not hostile, but just what can you tell me about leadership? That's the best 12 minutes that you can tell me that gives value to the audience. So we did things like that. Um, and Jamie Miller's coming back. Rebecca
Love
Rich.
him.
Yeah. Who else, Joe? Help me out.
Kyle Draper will be back. Sean Kaplan. Um,
John
one
Haddad.
of our keynotes is Charlie Rocket, who's the benefactor of the Dream Machine, which is our charity this year, right? So,
Like Charlie.
um, yep, awesome guy. He'll be closing out the event. Jonathan Haddad will be there. It's a really cool lineup, and because of these duels, we were able to put a lot more people in, right? So the average time that we gave a speaker, and Chris knows this, is obviously Chris will be there again this year 3 in a row type thing, which we're super excited.
Very
But
excited.
we with that 10-minute format of the duels, we're able to put a lot more people in there. We're also really excited to feature some like boots on the ground loan officers who are up and coming. Chris, I know Milo Draven has been on this podcast
Mm.
before. We're going to be, he was
That's
speaking
right.
at AIM. He's going to be back here too. So it's just a really cool, cool lineup this year. It feels fresh. It feels different. And that's kind of what we plan to do every single year, is just kind of bring something new and different to the game.
What I love about your lineup is it's diverse, and meaning that there are a lot of speakers there, and there are going to be a handful that really connect to you in the audience. Who, you guys listen. I promise you, there's going to be 3 or 4 that's just going to like speak right into you, and then you get the ability to be able to connect with them. Like they're not just like taken off. They most speakers hang out. They go to the stuff. They want to share, and then half of the room, no, most of the room all want to share and talk, and you will learn the most just by hanging out. And that's what's so cool about MortgageCon. So it's Universal Studios. It's February,
Correct.
first week of February, and you can go to mortgagecon.com. Joe, is that
And
right?
mortgagecon2026.com. So,
MortgageCon2026.com. Get
yep.
your ticket. Don't wait. Because I'm telling you what, cool hotel, great spot, amazing parties. Like this thing is really fun. Even my wife says, like, uh, when's MortgageCon? And I'm like, It's February. I hope they bring me back. This is like a cool spot. You just don't want to miss it. If I say it's good, I'm telling you it is good. Let's go through a little bit before I let you go, which I appreciate you guys' time. I know you're hustling already in January here, but I've been doing an exercise with loan officers and realtors across the country of about completing and remembering 14 questions on 2025 that takes you through. Just got a text from a girl not very far from you in Alabama. And she said, this was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. In a long time, I even cried. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so 14 questions on 2025, 11 questions in 2026. And I want to give you one question on each side. You guys game?
Yeah, let's do
Sure.
it.
Okay, cool. So the first question's really hard. Uh, you wouldn't expect anything different from me, but it makes you think. And I'm gonna give you my word to this question first, and then I want you to come up with what you would. This means I'm giving you a little time to like think it through. So the question goes this: what would be one compliment that you have liked to receive in 2025 that you didn't get? And as you think that through, I want to tell you my word: sacrifice. I wish I would have been said, hey, look, the sacrifices and the things that you did in 2025 was worth it. Keep it up, keep going, because it will pay off in 2026 and 2027. So as you think through that little process, I don't care who goes first, Joe or John, tell me what your word and what compliment you would like to receive and why.
Oh boy. I'm going to go first. Um, I think my word is strength. Um, Mainly because uh 2025 was a huge building year for us, right? From a company perspective, from everything. And um there it was a lot of growing pains, a lot of challenging times, mainly because we worked our butts off in order to get
Mhm.
there, right? And so, what I'm trying to do as I go into 2026 is to find the strength in order to give more. So, I think that the compliment that I would have liked to have, hey, I appreciated your strength during that time. I
Hmm.
like to think that I'm pretty motivating, like I have everything, but I mean I just kind of have to pull more. I got two 7-year olds, a husband at home. There's a lot that's going on, right? And so I just need to find more strength and wished I had that going into 2025.
The
So,
encouragement of it.
yep.
Cool. That's a good answer. Cool. John?
I'm going to use the word perseverance. I
Yeah.
think some of the things that, everything behind the scenes and in people's faces that we overcame this year, a lot of hurdles that I want to say that we kind of strived through and came out stronger. It was, kind of like that silent win that nobody sees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, both of your answers like almost tie into the next question I'm going to ask you, which is about 2026, but maybe you'll have just a little bit different perspective. And this question goes like this. So John, you're going to go first.
Okay.
What advice would you give yourself to be able to complete 2026 to the best of its ability?
Hmm. Uh, I would tell myself to go into it fearlessly, like failing wasn't an option or an obstacle.
Hmm.
Try to accomplish my goals with everything that I have and not worry about anything else.
Hmm.
So uh, I would say that.
I love that. Joe?
Kind of is hand in hand. If you know my brother and me, that we're very different type thing, and he's more even keeled. I'm definitely more of the extrovert. So my
Yeah.
advice would be don't freak out type thing. It's gonna be okay.
It's, that sounds
So
like a song, Joe.
I know, don't freak out. So John and I talk about this in length. He has huge plans for this company going into 2026, and he shared them with me. And he sees my face and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, Yes, I'm okay. I'm just processing this right now, and we're gonna do it, right? So I think that that is my advice for 2026 is rise to the challenge, don't freak out, and let's do this type thing.
I'm gonna have to cue in "Don't Freak Out" song. Freak out about right now. That would be really cool, guys. I just want to say thank you for jumping on coaching with Chris, but more importantly, thank you for MortgageCon, and thank you for being real. I feel like every time I have a conversation with you guys or come see you guys, it's just real. And I that's the quality that I appreciate in both of you and a lot of your leaders that I get to visit with on an ongoing basis. I appreciate you. I am a big fan, and I can't wait to see you guys at MortgageCon. So thanks for being on Coaching with Chris.
Thank you,
Thank you, man.
Chris. It was a pleasure.